Hey, Rylan here at the Vic Shop. Have you recently ordered cross-country fuel filters and what you expected to show up was this, but instead what showed up was a box that had a bunch of parts like this that was supposed to be that? Well, let's take a second and I'll show you how to put it all together. Alright, first thing we want to do is not modify the fuel pump assembly when you take it out. Let's leave it as is so we have a point of reference as how to put this thing together. Second thing is when you unwrap it, there's one small part in here. So we got the pieces that should be put together, and then in the bottom of the bag there should be this little tiny clip that you don't want to lose. This little guy here, and that's the retainer to keep the filters on the pump assembly. So then once we got it all unwrapped, I'm gonna try to get an idea of the orientation on how this thing goes together, and that's why we keep this as is. And I've done a couple of these, so I know that this is the kind of the top where it meets the pump, and I know that I want to put a mark kind of right at the top of the hose, so that I will also put a corresponding mark on the top of the plastic piece here so that they go in straight and they're oriented correctly. I'm going to use a black marker on this right here, because once I use the heat gun to warm it up and we push it together, it's got to be quick, because that plastic will cool in just a second. And then get some gloves because it's going to be hot. I set my heat gun on low heat, or your wife's hair dryer. Just don't let her know you got it out in the garage. And then I heat it just enough where I can see it's starting to deform, and maybe a couple little bubbles are showing up on the outside. I'm not looking to melt it, just a fine line between it melting and just being pliable enough to put these two together. Oh yeah, that is the ticket. Slid right on there. Okay, so that one's good. It's half the equation. So we've got that half going. Now we need to make sure that this is oriented correctly. So we're going to use the same thing, the paint marks. Paint mark there, and we're going to want a paint mark here. It's just like a plumber doing pipe fitting. Back on the low heat. Trying to keep my distance. I don't want to put it right up next to it, just melt the crap out of it, and just let it heat up slowly and keep it from melting. Uh-oh. Well, see, I done messed that one up. Cooled too much. Is the ticket. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not melted. The marks line up, and then once it cools here in a minute or two, it'll be rock solid and ready to go. And then if you notice, I have another video on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, that details how to get this in and out of the tank and how to get this off and back on to the pump assembly. But yeah, this used to come complete back before the latest batch showed up here at the end of summer in 2021. So now we got to put them together ourselves. But that is how you do that. If you need any more tech tips, go to the Vic Shop. Thanks for watching.